Hopefully you all can hear me okay. I'm just driving and being guided to hop on and reflect some things, just utilizing this channel as somewhat of a vlog, even though there's no video on at this time. For the collective and for the ones that resonate. So the title today is Reconnecting with Spirit. What is spirit? Or what do I mean when I say spirit? I mean the divine, I mean essence, I mean God, whatever that is for you. And building that relationship with it. So through my experience on the twin flame journey, that's the whole reason I started my last YouTube. Been about 8 years now. I woke to this perception really of communicating to the external as the divine masculine, and it sent me on a seeker journey, an awakening, a spiritual awakening, and just processing really where I'm at in regards to that. And I spoke a bit about the masculine essence being spirit and the feminine being the soul. There's just such a cloudiness in regards to what a soul is, what spirit is. There's the term the higher self and this and that. So, if you're just looking at the masculine as spirit and the feminine, really many interruptions. Really building that connection, that relationship with one's being, with oneself or soul, whatever. I don't like saying self because that's the ego dissolution. That's really what you dissolve within the spiritual awakening, the identity. Not altogether. You don't go into spiritual bypass that you are gifted in my body and soul even. However, if you're looking at the spirit as masculine and the soul as feminine, you can start to gift from the gift-giving divine masculine spirit, and that's really where everything comes from, is from spirit, from divine, from God, from the infinite light spectrum, and it is the soul that receives it. You're a unique individual soul, and you receive the fruits, the gifts. Awareness is the true gift, and it is that soul that is receiving it. It really isn't your heart, it isn't your mind, that it's just, they're the processes that make up you as a multidimensional being. So if we're just looking at it again from spirit and soul, you can see the divine masculine and feminine dance, interchangeable notions, energies, relationship, communications, and you can start to understand yourself a little bit better. You may even just understand what you want in the opposite, in your partner. You may start to understand what you want, because it truly is alive and it's real. The spirit is real, the soul is real. It's more real than the mind and the body and the heart. Through scripture it states that every heart is wicked, and it's this purging of one's desires, wants and needs that actually come along with the mental dissolution of one's belief systems and programs and thought forms that has to take place as well. And that's where you move into not a dismantling or a deprogramming, but more so of a repentance. And who are you even repenting to? However, just keeping it at the masculine and feminine dance, God is kind of like the Trinity within that, beyond, immeasurable, unthinkable, ineffable. However, if we're just looking at it as a masculine spirit, feminine soul, what are they doing? You know, what is your soul doing right now? What is your feminine doing? Is she receiving? Is she happy? Is she sad? Like, just tapping into the present moment and asking yourself, like, all right, what is my soul experiencing right now? And you may need to like allow the intuition to offer it up. You might, you know, get some thoughts that come through, or some, you know, disturbances within the heart that aren't necessarily ringing true. Just allow your intuition to offer up the truth of what your feminine is experiencing, and, you know, ask, like, what does your feminine want? You know, beyond, I mean, it could be anything. It could, and it's not necessarily a want. This is what I mean. It's not a want and a need. Like, everything's gifted in the present moment, and it is perfect whether you accept it or not. It's more so like, what could make your experience right now more comfortable? And then what could the masculine gift you? Because the masculine is the gift giving into the feminine reception. What can the masculine gift you within this moment? And then you got to connect to your masculine. You got to connect to that spirit, that essence. And what's your masculine doing? Is it the spirit of deception? Is it the spirit of good tidings? You know, like, what type of spirit is your masculine representing at this time? And you may want to look to the external and be like, oh, there's an amalgamation of masculines in my reality. That's what my masculine's doing. That's not spirit. You've really got to dig deep, and this is where your relationship with God comes in. Like, you've got to dig deep in regards to connecting to your masculine spirit essence. It is always going to be unconditionally loving, unconditionally forgiving, and honest, very honest and real and raw. The spirit is very real and raw. However, love is patient, love is kind, and, you know, just being that expression of. So then you can flip it around. Like, what does your masculine, you know, does your masculine desire you to be more open and receptive, more vulnerable as the feminine? So really just playing around in that realm, in a space of meditation or visionary or whatever, and getting to know your spirit masculine and your soul feminine. That's really where the collective is at this time, and being in the truth that you're never alone. Especially if you identify with the twin flame journey, like, you're never alone. This really, you know, goes beyond the twin flame relationship, because, you know, even every scripture, you know, states that there's spirit and soul, whatever. Every religion, every form of spirituality. So just building that relationship between the masculine and feminine within is really going to reflect outwards. If you're seeking a relationship outwards, you really want, you know, there to be some type of manifestation, physical union or something of the sort. However, you should really release identities, and you should release it being an image of a incarnate. It really shouldn't, especially as the masculine spirit, because it doesn't have a soul. Like, the soul is feminine in nature. Even the masculine's soul is reception, is feminine, and then their spirit is masculine. So just building that relationship, and then coming together, and visualization is really powerful, and, you know, moving closer, you know, hugging, this and that, whatever type of visualization is soothing to you, and then coming together as, you know, begotten children, or soul brother and sister, or soul lovers, whatever you like to visualize, and coming together and going before God, whatever divinity is for you, and, you know, coming together and going before God and stating, like, what would you like from us, God? You know, what is our purpose? Are we going to manifest in the physical? and really listening to the answers from divinity, then you're building this relationship from your divine synergy of your androgynousness and building that relationship with God. I really feel like you should go to God together with your essence of spirit and soul united, masculine and feminine united, so you can be that whole complete being which reflects the wholeness of God. And then you're not in lack consciousness. You're not like, God, where's my masculine, where's my feminine, where's this and that. You're already in that space of unity, because separation is an illusion. You're always in unity. That's what I'm pointing at. It's just the unseen, beloveds. And you could have a psychedelic experience and actually see it. Many have. It's called DMT, it's called ayahuasca. Like, you can have these experiences where the separateness of subject-object reality does dissolve, it does melt. Like, these are not just like theories that haven't been tested or played with by individuals. So that should be like relieving to your soul, that it's not just all woo-woo words. Like, it really is an illusion. Reality is something other than you perceive. Reality is actually what you receive, and that is the feminine, that is the soul. And it's like, what spirit are you receiving from? Are you receiving from, what is your masculine showing up as? Is he the spirit of deception? Is he the spirit of error? Is he the spirit of unfaithfulness? Is he the spirit of loyalty? Is he, but again, not looking to the external for that validation, really just tapping in and tapping into the unseen and seeing what comes up, seeing what your intuition offers you in regards to, it could be completely different, and that's the whole point. You're in unity, in truth. You're having a relationship not only with your divine masculine and feminine within, but with God. You're a co-creator, and that's really where you'll have to step up. You have to push through the resistance. You have to sometimes go up against the stream. You sometimes have to do things you don't necessarily want to do, because in truth your inner being wouldn't be leading you to do them if it didn't serve purpose. So without judgment, without resistance, without guilt or shame, without sadness, just being in that observer state. And that's why it helps, alleviate any emotions, any thought forms, if you can be at the level of soul and spirit, at that unity of your divine masculine and feminine within, so you're not like waging everything on your thoughts and your emotions. Because I can assure you, 80% of your emotions and your thoughts aren't even yours. They're like collective thought forms that your inner being, your soul, is walking through, and you're just receiving them because your soul is receptive. So being discerning and actually being the living flesh, being the soul, and receiving from spirit, you can't receive all this shit that is in the collective consciousness. Energy doesn't die, so the more souls that have lived on earth, the more shit that there is. That's why, pretty much every religion points to there being an end date, because it's just going to get too chock-a-block of crap, until we self-destruct. I mean, the sun will die, it's just as simple as that. Like, everything in this universe dies. That is inevitable. So that should bring you relief, really. This too shall pass. However, you're here and now in this experience, connecting to your soul and your spirit, your feminine and masculine. Are you communicating to them? Are you hearing them? Or are you in a state of ignorance? Because if you're in a state of ignorance, you're just going to get taken down by a conic demiurge, demon, blasphemy, spirit of crap, because you're in ignorance. I mean, that was the original sin, is ignorance. And sin is self-identity narrative. It's this separateness from divinity that you think you know better somehow, and you're just going to ignore God, or you're going to ignore your intuition because there's some different part of yourself that is separate that knows better. It's literally an illusion. And like, how's that working out for you? Like, it just does not work out, because if you ignore, you end up giving in, and then that's the action, that's the masculine, because it takes a feminine ignorance, you know, to ignore the receptive, intuitive or guided message, and then the active masculine to give in. That's why they say Eve ate the apple first. It's all energetics, it's all masculine and feminine. So that's the best place for you all to go at this time, is to your masculine and feminine, your gifted soul and spirit. And then having a little conversation, like, what do you want to do for the day? You know, what does your masculine want to do? What does your feminine want to do? Are they in agreement? Are they in alignment? Are they, you know, in a space of separation? Are they arguing? And just like, you'll find that you can sort it out a lot quicker in the non-physical than you can in the physical. And that's the whole point, as within, so without, as above, so below. So it moves like a lot quicker than in this perceived time in the physicality. Everything's slowed down in physical so you can enjoy and experience and relish and revel in it. It's not meant to be as dense and as prolonging and as boring, you know. You're meant to be aligning to your vibrational escrow and aligning to everything that's already freaking in there. It's already in your vibrational escrow. It's already in your vortex. Everything that you've ever desired. And even all the darkness that you've experienced, all the trials, traumas, and tribulations, that has turned into the equal and opposite vibration in the light, in your vibrational escrow. Things, and that's the spontaneity. That's the things that you don't even know that's in there. You didn't even ask for, because it's the alchemy of the dark into the light. That's how benevolent God truly is. Like, just a gift-giving miracle worker. It's just like, are you open up to receive that? It's like, you really have to be, and I find for twins, it's really about connecting to the masculine. Because if you go off and try and receive reality on your own, there's always that notion of longing and yearning. And through the Ogdad of the Gnostic perception, you know, Sophia unites with Thelatos, which is seen as the yearned for. And you can see that it's at the bottom of the pleroma, and it's like the soul, Sophia, is always yearning for her masculine. And she creates. That's how the demiurge was created. Like, she creates without a counterpart because she can't wait any longer. And it creates like an abomination, truly. So, not going too deep into that. However, you know, I understand your yearnings and I understand your pain. And trust me, I have felt pain that, like, I didn't think a physical vessel, it's like soul pain. Like, I didn't think a physical vessel could actually withstand it, you know. Like, I'm sure I should have had a stroke by now, the immense amount of like heartache and pain that one has experienced. I'm not going to bring up all my trials, traumas, and tribulations. However, you know, I've experienced like loss at very deep levels and very innocent and raw levels, like death of my firstborn daughter, death of my partner, like experiences that I thought would have rocked me a lot more than they did. The thing that rocked me the most is God's wrath, like reaping what I've sowed, karma, if you want to call it. Like, that it really has rocked me, and the immense amount of sadness, guilt, and shame that one has experienced, you know, everything does come back around. And in the opposite spectrum of that, even the good comes back around. So, and like I stated, all that shit that you've gone through in your life, it has alchemized into the equal and opposite vibration of goodness in your vibrational escrow, in the non-physical. That's just how powerful your inner being is. It's like, oh my God, my being, my vehicle, my multidimensional self is experiencing heartache right now. What's the opposite to that? Love, true love. So there's like literally billions of lifetimes of love in your vibrational escrow. It's just like, how are you all going to open up? How are we as a collective going to open up to it at this time? And that's really what the seeker looks for, is like unconditional love, unity, and, you know, peace, happiness, bliss. It's just a bit different for the ones that have experienced like the twin flame awakening, and you know who you are. It's just like psychedelic experiences that natural, and this rapid awakening into connection with divinity that it's just like, what the F? It doesn't even make sense. Like, it is beyond anything logical. And like the synchronicities of how you find the twin flame reads online, or the collectives and the groups and this and that, it's just like, you'll know who you are, and you have to start accepting and honor that you are not a split soul but an androgynous being. And you can see that as the spirit and the soul. It really isn't two souls. All souls are feminine in nature. It's receptive. There's no gender in non-physical. So you really got to move into this perspective of the masculine is spirit and the feminine is soul. And we can go deeper into that, like deeper into the different aspects and emanations of spirit, different emanations of divinity, really, and then different emanations and constructs of the soul. However, I'll do that at a later space. I just really want to move the collective and oneself into this perspective of the synergy of the dance. So androgynous means both masculine and feminine, and one can't exist without the other. And that could be why we experience such intense pains through separation, or perceived separation in our twin flame awakening and in our journey. So it's a knowingness, no matter whether you believe it's your last lifetime and you're meant to unite, like, it's a knowingness and unwavered and like mystical, it's like supernatural faith that comes along. And also hope really is born, whereas you may have never even like thought about hope and faith before, until you have gone through this rapid awakening and then gone through the stages of separation. So in truth, it is separation from divinity. It always is. However, God is gifting you something. God is gifting you a relationship with one's being, like with you and you. In truth, you speak to yourself in every moment. Like, every time you're giving someone advice, it's from a preconceived notion of how it relates to you. Whenever you speak to someone, it's always in relation to you. Like, you could see it as a narcissistic society. However, it is the soul. It's not the ego. You're always benefiting one another, and you're treating others how you would treat yourself. So you speak to yourself in every moment. You speak to you. However, twins really speak to themselves as the opposite sex. Like, it's the masculine and the feminine. So walking around as the receptive soul, whether you're a masculine or feminine incarnate, what is your masculine gifting you in the moment? Like, what is your soul receiving? What is the spirit gifting? And like, what is it? You can move into wants and needs in the level of spirit and soul, because it's beyond the constructs and the identity of the physical. So, it's like a wanting without wanting, a needing without needing, a knowing without knowing, a seeing without seeing. Like, that's how you can visualize. That's your imagination. Like, it's seeing without seeing. So your imagination really is divine life force as well. It's God. And you guys have really been pummeled around this spiritual awakening, that you may have like lost that childlike nature and awe in regards to imagination. Trust me, if you build a relationship between your soul and spirit, your feminine and your masculine, you will start to imagine more. It really is just that life force. So like, when that spirit gifts its and shines its light of awareness into your divine feminine soul, the soul lights up. Like, your whole reality lights up. You can see that every pore in your body is starting to receive spirit. Like, it's undeniable. So, and it is a love story. Everything is love. Everything is making love. And this is where the twins have to step up and brush off the resistance and move deeper into unity with themselves, with the masculine and feminine, with the soul and spirit, and then deeper into unity as a unified being with God. Otherwise, God's just going to be in perception running back and forth between you and your twin and this and that, and it's just really not going to be received in the totality and the wholeness that it could be. And then if you do have a perceived twin in the physical, you're in awareness of what they're receiving, and you have to move into, supernatural faith that the reason your inner being is nudging you towards a physical being is because you're being guided to view them as your twin. And whether it changes, whether your twin changes, it doesn't matter. They're all belief systems. If you look at the word belief, it's a lie. It's loving into energy. It's all energy. And spirit, soul is beyond energy. So it is an illusion. It's something other than you perceive. It is a mirage, if you will. This whole external reality is like a light show of something other than you perceive. The unseen, that is the mechanism behind it. You can see it as dark matter or gravity. That's still, gravity is a really good finger pointing because it's something that everybody accepts. However, it is still a theory. Like, it's never been proven, so it is unseen. And you could just put it down to gravity is God. Like, it's the same mirror in like relation and like, yeah, a mirror, a reference point in regards to believing and accepting something that you cannot see. So yeah, I wouldn't look to the external too much at this time for synchronicities. Wherever you focus your attention, you will find synchronicities. And that becomes so disheartening when you're like, but I got a million synchronicities. And it's like, yeah, cool. It's an all-inclusive law of attraction reality. You're going to keep looking there. You're going to keep getting it. And what's your point? Are you in union yet? No. So it's like really like a harsh awakening when, you move and deeper into maturity of your spiritual awakening, and it's faith-based. It's faith-based in the unseen. And this is where you got to do the inner work. And it's not about clearing your trauma and moving through emotions and thought forms. Yes, that is a stage, and that is a phase, and that is an experience. You got to do the work to focus your awareness of unifying your masculine and feminine. You have to accept that you have a soul that is unseen, a spirit that is unseen. You have to accept that. You can't just be running off things that you have evidence of, like your emotions and your thought forms, because like I stated before, majority of your thoughts and your emotions aren't even yours. They're collective, It's just a bunch of poo-poo caca. So the realness really is the spirit, the soul receiving the spirit, the feminine receiving the masculine, just like a phallus goes into the you-know-what, the coochie. It is the gift-giving masculine into the feminine reception. Everything is obviousness in physical reality. Like, they're the true signs and synchronicities of as within, so without, as above, so below. So that's the evidence that y'all can, receive, take home with you, whatever. And looking towards nature, yeah, it's good. However, it really is the feminine and masculine dance. It is about the masculine and feminine for twins. Like, we move into a different perspective, dimensional state of awareness, and that is unique to us. It's following one of the 7 hermetic principles, which is the law of gender, and that is something that we're gifted much wisdom and knowledge on for a reason, because we're here to unify the masculine and the feminine. We're here to unify and alchemize and bring awareness to the law of gender. And, other collectives are here on earth to bring awareness to the law of cause and effect. Like, it just is what it is. Like, everybody has a different, unique soul purpose. If you identify with the twin flame, I personally have always received the message that there's 144,000 twin flames. Maybe there's collectives of 144,000, and we're all unique, different types of relationships. And, there's twin flames, whatever. It's just running on the cosmic laws of the universe, so it's not really seen as like a label, like, because you only ever hear of like twin flames and soulmates and this and that. So, yeah, so what is your masculine and feminine doing? Are they in unity? Are they having a good old time? Is there a discord? Is there a separation within? What could you do to fix it? Maybe you're masculine, like you literally got to listen. Like maybe your masculine will be like, I just want to cuddle up on the couch and watch a movie. And, you know, all of a sudden you find yourself, oh, it's okay to be alone. I'm not in separation consciousness, like in dread that I don't have the physical incarnate, because you actually heard it from the spirit of your masculine and your soul is receiving it. And you're like, it's so real. The spirit is so much more real than the physical incarnates that it kind of brews this fear that the masculine incarnates or the feminine incarnates are never going to level up to that which you actually are. And that is a good thing. You shouldn't be aiming so low. You shouldn't be settling for less. I see it all the time. I hear it all the time. My masculine will only message me when, you know, it suits him. Bro, that is a fucking toxic ass trauma bond type of relationship. You just got to cut it. Like, it's just as simple as that. Like, I'm in a space of celibacy. I do not even desire, probably to the toxic spectrum, a physical relationship. You know, it's gone so far in the other spectrum, you know, due to abandonment, due to loss, due to trauma, I'm aware that. But I can also see where I'm at in regards to the relationship within. Like, I've only just started releasing certain beliefs and perspectives of my masculine within, because trust me, it will get very colorful when you start to unify and start to speak to your divine counterpart through existence without an identity. It will start to form an identity. It will, you know, the spirit doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a body, so it will want to go to a body. It has to go to the feminine. Like, it has to go to the divine feminine. It's not going to be received by the mechanisms of, just say, a masculine soul. It's feminine in nature. It is beyond gender. It is reception. It can't go to a masculine. It will just go to itself, if you will. And that'll turn, like, egoic as fuck. Like, that's when you get a masculine incarnate that's just very, you know, they probably watch themselves freaking wank in the mirror or something. I'm not sure. It could get very, very toxic. I don't know where that come from, but there's many souls that are coming through and actually asking questions right now. So if you wanted to book into like a twin flame relationship or something of the sort, I have two. I've only done one. Cassandra, Jennifer, yours is coming, and also Kelly's is coming. It's just about willing my soul like within so it doesn't actually hurt. I wondered why it was hurting so much, and yeah, it's this exegesis of the soul. So really connecting back and reaching unity within. Like, it's not that I can't channel anything through. I mean, when I'm in this space of unity with soul and spirit, with masculine and feminine, it comes through a lot more fluent. However, it just freaking hurts, like, if I'm not in a space of unity to channel. So there's many souls coming through. I mean, that just came to my awareness then. I can see how many twin flames are like gathering around and green pastures and whatnot and just like flocking together. And this is something that is also coming up for twin flames very soon. Actually, it's 3:33 on the clock, and in 3 days it is 11:11. And it's not necessarily about, like, this will be a huge catalyst for your unity within, as within so without. However you take that as you will. However, it's more so about unity of soul tribe. Like, through separation within, just say, the twin flame journey, you must find your soul tribe, and you will, divine will lead you to your soul tribe. You'll fall in love, unconditionally in love with beings of your soul tribe. And it's meant to be all-inclusive, like love, not polyamorous, like no like seeking the X, like sex. It's beyond physical. It's literally like unconditionally loving acceptance, non-judgment of beings that can help you through separation, that can help you through being a mirror, you know, for the masculine and feminine unity and stuff. So, you know, if you ever resonated to join our little group, come along. However, if you're guided to book a reading, just like find me, Emily Davey, on Facebook, or Indigo Moon 1111 on Facebook or Instagram or something, and ask me for the donation link. We're just doing $50 Australian at this time for twin flame channel messages. I do many things. Like, if you're guided to ask me, like, can you do this? Just ask, because I'm sure you're guided, because I can. So, but yeah, just like legit channeling a message from, you know, someone in inquiry is quite fluent and easy for me. If you just give me their name, you know, straight up, I can just tap into them and be like, yeah, this is what they think and feel about you, this is what they're experiencing, this is what their blockages are, their resistance is to the situation. It just comes through quite effortless, and it may be some divine guidance that you'll need at this time. However, you can find that within. That's why I'm here uploading free content and channeled awareness, wisdom for y'all, because, you know, just going from self-experience, I've always been this divine mirror, and I'm guided by divinity to be, that's my sole purpose, is to truly be the divine mirror and, you know, be of service, help others along the journey by letting you all know. So what I did today is I have resistance to the house that I live in. I've just recently moved into a house that is like a quarter of the size that I'm used to, and like literally a quarter. And a lot of my furniture and belongings has been broken through moves, and, you know, that was disheartening. You know, I lost a lot of things. I went through like full dissolution of the physical reality, and to the point of living in a tent. So, you know, I've got a house. It's a quarter of the size of what I'm used to. It's not 777 Emilia House, Sophia Christ. No, it is the number 10 completion. And very small. But what I did today was, there's boxes all underneath the house that I've just had resistance to even opening, because I'm just like, what's the point? It's all broken, it's all crap, it's all shit. I don't even want to put it in this shit ass house. I've just got resistance to it, and I really had to push through that resistance. And it was in the building of the relationship with the unity within of the masculine and feminine that really allowed me to actually have that active energy to get off my ass and like go get some things out of the shed. And I put up like picture frames, some ornaments, and like, you know, took away all the idols. So anything from like any religion I've really put away, and just like got a very natural, like earthy, you know, there's still like dragons and fairies and this and that, like ornaments and stuff around my house, but like big Buddha statues and stuff like that, like I'm just not guided to have them up for many reasons. So Ivy's about to hop in the car. How you going, girl?
Can I get something from the shop?
Yeah, can you get me a drink?
Yeah. And you see that girl, the small one?
Yeah, she got theory and stuff on.
Yeah, she's a theme as well.
Wow, was she new?
No, she's been here.
Did you get to paint today?
No.
Why? Because you didn't have to change your clothes?
Well, no, we barely even did it.
Okay.
Because we had stuff to catch up.
Get me a small, like cola one. The ice drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya, don't lose my card. Yeah, so you'll have more energy once you connect to the masculine spirit within your being, because it is the active, it is the energy, and it is that, you know, seed of inspired idea, and like the feminine receives it and then embodies it, really. So you are a living soul. Like, you really aren't a body. Like, the body doesn't even exist like the way that you'll think it does. I mean, just go at a quantum level, none of these atoms even touch, so you're not actually a physical being. Like, you know, it just depends like how you look at things. It's just pretty trippy. But yeah, so I did that. I put some decorations and ornaments around the house. I did some like scripture study with Daniel today. That was really cool. Been tapping into doing that. Hung out with my son and his girlfriend. What else did I do? I went to sleep in unity with the divine masculine. Like, that experience of like feeling the hug from the spirit, and the soul was like nurtured and cocooned internally. And then when I woke up, it was gone. And so, you know, I'm so used to waking up and it just being gone that, you know, it would have moved into feelings of depression or sadness. Today, because I went to sleep with the Unity, when I woke up, there's definitely something going on in sleep. Like, I'm not quite sure. I might have to hop
I don't
off.
know why this is so big, but the small one's yours.
No, I wanted a Coke.
Oh,
A ice drink.
I thought you said coffee.
Mm.
When you said ice drink, I think of coffee.
Can you run that to the bin, please? Because you got the biggest freaking thing in existence.
I did. I don't know what's
Why?
Good question. But I like it.
Ivy. So yeah, I went through a little bit of resistance. However, I found I am married, a real divine feminine. Here we go. She's a destiny swapper, and she channel chase wanting to be Sophia Christ so bad till she's not Sophia. She's a blasphemer, and she's not in union with no one. You know, if you've listened to my channel, I'm guiding you all into unity.
Anyway, there wasn't any
Within
Cokes
first.
left, so.
Just for awareness, I didn't want to be Sophia Christ. If anything, it was a bit of a traumatic experience of not being able to get out of that soul purpose. And it's still a thing. However, Sophia's wisdom is the soul. Everyone is Sophia in truth. Everyone is that aspect of the soul, even a man. But it's interesting how the collective, I'm live, Ivy, sorry, I'm just going to finish this up. It's interesting how the collective like always goes, oh, like Jesus and Sophia are twins. In truth, Sophia is Gnostic and her twin is Thelitos. So everybody just likes to pick and choose and, you know, do whatever they want to do in regards to. However, first comes wisdom, then understanding. So first comes that reception, Sophia, the soul, the wisdom, and then comes the understanding. It really takes the feminine, you know, the feminine doesn't just sit there on her ass and receive, like she definitely moves about, and that is the aspect of understanding. In one sense, you could see it as standing under divinity and spirit, which is your masculine, and, you know, seeing them as that gift giver, because they do, they shine the light. Every masculine, you know, without masculines we wouldn't exist. There would be no seed and intention, shining the light of perspective within the realms of the soul. You could say the shadows of the soul, however, I don't see souls as shadowy. It would be the realm of the soul. And Mary, for awareness, I just voiced that I'm celibate. Obviously, I'm not in union if I'm in a space of celibacy, and I just voiced that I have no desire to be in a physical incarnation, to the point of probably pushing it away. That's where I'm at, is integrating the spirit, masculine, soul, feminine. This girl's being mean to me.
Who?
I am Mary, the real divine feminine Christ. What would you say to her?
I don't know. What is she saying?
She goes, oh, it doesn't even matter. Just saying I don't have wisdom and I'm not in a relationship with anyone, like picking on me.
I want to say something, but she
You just bless your enemies and you forgive them and you go along your day. So, I'm not saying you're my enemy, Mary. I don't really see enemies. You'd have to be my friend first to be an enemy. Frenemy. Emily. Do you want me to hop off or not? Okay. Alright. Alright guys, I'll hop back on when I am home. How long was I on for? 4, just when I looked at the clock. I hope you all found some wisdom. I might go a little bit deeper into the unification of the masculine and feminine when I get home, which will be in about like 20 minutes, half an hour. Namaste, amen.